You got to go with the block.
Which way we going
You
here?
got to start with the block.
You got to start with the block.
I mean,
okay.
That's what everybody's starting with is the block. And I mean, I heard it described this way today. You're not supposed to be able to defend the alley and the oop.
Yes.
And he did.
He did.
Giannis, in a crunch time, too. It wasn't like it was, middle of the second quarter. This was game on the line, under 2 minutes to go. Easy dunk or layup at the very least for DeAndre Ayton after Devin Booker's coming downhill. And for him to turn around, shift, get that vertical that quickly on the other side of the rim, it's just, I mean, I don't even know how to you can't even put words to it.
No, it was one of the best plays in the history of the NBA. I think that's how you summarize it. I would stop short of calling it the best block in the history of the NBA. Best block in the history of the NBA goes to our guy Nate Robinson, who blocked Yao Ming. I was there for that.
That is right.
I just tweeted the still shot. I mean, obviously, I'm being a bit facetious. I mean, yes and no. From a physical point of view, maybe that was it, the disparity in size. But
not the importance of the block.
I mean, the Knicks were horrendous. No. Last night, and even with LeBron, from a historical, or not even historical, but just from an importance point of view, LeBron's play was more important. I was looking at it this way, right? And very, very astute. I'm happy you brought that up. What makes the play, I mean, first of all, the actual block, but, going and then retreating and from a stopping or standing position, going up and getting it. But I look at LeBron's block of Andre Iguodala, and if you're not sure which one was the more difficult athletic play, ask yourself this if you're a non-athlete. So take yourself out of the equation because you could probably do both, right? So, number one, would you have a better chance, and I'm talking about people like me, would I have a better chance of running down the court? Granted, I wouldn't hit 20 miles per hour like LeBron did. Granted, I wouldn't get as high up on the backboard. I get all that. But running down the court and actually trying to pin a ball, against the backboard, or do what Giannis did and try to redirect a 7'1", two-handed tomahawk in my grill.
That's right.
I think that I would take my chances running and hoping to the high heavens I could get the middle of the backboard and maybe get a fingernail on Iguodala's block.
Yeah, and by the way,
there's your answer.
Yeah, and by the way, as we see it here on the network, if you're watching us on TV, Giannis just took off his one-footed, turned around 1 foot, just got it right where you needed to. Perfect timing. It was all ball.
Yeah, it was.
It was no hand, nothing in that regard. But here's the other thing about LeBron's block, and we keep seeing this now because that's the one that people are referring to as the greatest block in finals history. LeBron's was in Game 7. I mean, it was critically important. The other thing about LeBron's block is that J.R. Smith doesn't get enough credit for causing Andre Iguodala to double clutch.
That's a double clutch.
Right? So Iguodala's going up and J.R. Smith is right there, so he has to tuck down. And then when he goes back up, LeBron has that extra half a second to get there and pin it on the board.
Yeah. The years past, Iguodala flushes that.
That's exactly right.
And by the way, the chest pass that Curry, it's like a 1950s, so textbook. Steph Curry from the wing. It
would have been beautiful if it hadn't got blocked, right?
It would have been sweet. Listen, I do take issue. I have not heard this said today. I have heard a lot about which block was better. Of course, we had to give you our thoughts. I mean, it's not the most original way to, but everybody's weighing in. Which was the better block, LeBron or Giannis? We weighed in there.
Giannis, this was better.
Yes, in terms of more important, LeBron better. Just a higher degree of difficulty. I don't know how you can contest otherwise that it was Giannis. You and I are in lockstep on that. Yep. But and he played so great. And we'll get to the reps because it's about the player I'm about to mention. That pass was a little too casual for my taste from Devin Booker.
Yeah.
Not only was it off target, and it was off target by 5 or 6 inches, so instead of catching it right at the, I'm not saying it's an easy play, please, but catching it right at the rim and just going forward, Ayton had to kind of catch it and redirect from behind him and then bring it back, which gave Giannis 1/10 of a 1/1,000,000th of a 1/1000,000th, however you want to quantify the timing, to move his hands to get ball.
I got to tell you, BT, it's funny you say that because DeAndre Ayton's momentum is taking him out of bounds, right? Because he's moving so fast and he jumps, and half of his body, his shoulder, is about at the backboard. You know what I mean?
Just about.
When he grabs that thing. As I look at it and re-look at it, I don't know if he has an easy dunk. It's probably a reach dunk. You know what I mean? As opposed to like an easy flush where you're getting.
You mean where he's like a little bit extended away from the rim?
Exactly. He's extended from it.
I don't think he was that far away. Can we get one more look on TV?
Yeah,
I mean, we've gotten 10. They've done a great job.
Right.
Let me see. Hold on.
Watch DeAndre Ayton's
I got you.
body.
Okay. Little casual
So he's
pass.
moving over. Like he's almost sideways. You know what I mean? So it's almost like he's going to have to dunk it behind
that was the other one.
But behind the rim, like the backside of the rim.
But is it because the pass was errant?
Yes.
Or because his momentum was going there already?
Both.
The pass was errant.
It was definitely because of the pass. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a line drive, see, in those situations where there's nobody there, you know, right? There's no defender.
Yeah.
Because Giannis is committed to being the help on Booker.
On Booker. Booker doesn't know he's going to drop, so you just put it right on the rim. Kiss the rim.
Just throw it to him. Forget put it on the rim.
Yeah. That's true.
Just pass it quickly to DeAndre Ayton. Let him take it and then dunk it. You don't necessarily have to help him get it in the basket. But whatever it was, that half a millisecond, whatever it may have been, gave Giannis a chance to be, or at least demonstrate, his freakish athletic ability. There's not very many people, maybe not any, that are in the NBA right now that can turn that quickly, pivot, like quarter step, and launch off 1 foot, get that high. His hand is he's long as hell, but whatever. A foot and a half above the rim, get all ball, and then start to break the other way.
Yeah, and no foul. That's the point. Right. I don't know. I don't want to put TV in a rough spot. I don't know if they can slow it down. Now, do this, TV. Do that. We're going to direct you here. Do this. Do this. Suddenly we're in the truck instead of doing a show.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if they can, if not, no big deal. Just roll it once more because don't even look at Ayton.
Yeah.
Look at Devin Booker. He throws it with one hand.
Yeah.
As he gets ready to lob it up there. And again, I understand things are happening right here. Perfect. All right, he's got the ball in his right hand. No look. I mean, it's one hand. That's not a pass. I don't know if he's ever made that pass in a game this year.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like, it's a very casual
I know what you mean.
pass.
So
great job, TV.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Great
job.
By throwing it, you don't have any control when you underhand.
That's what I'm saying.
Throw a ball, whatever it is. I mean, maybe.
Well, it depends if you're playing bocce. I mean, some things you do. I mean,
but not
bowling.
Not when you're throwing it.
Not while you're moving.
Moving and throwing it vertically.
Correct.
Tossing it underhand
to a moving target.
That's exactly right. Like the margin of error is tiny, right? And so I don't know how else he would have done it.
I know.
You know what I mean? Because he was trying to fend off. I forget who the defender was, Johnson, whoever it was. He was trying to fend him off, so he kind of only had one hand to use.
Yeah,
like he couldn't turn his body to face DeAndre Ayton to get a clean shot. So it was really his only option. It was. I don't want to say it was lazy because I think it was a good play. And 99.
That's a casual. A little different for me. I mean,
I was saying lazy.
Kind of semantics.
I was saying lazy. But okay. I think 99.8% of those times, if he had the exact same play, maybe even with the exact same defense, that thing goes down as a dunk, and it's just it's sick, and it looks amazing because Giannis is getting posterized, right? But Giannis made a great play. We just can't discount how amazing that play was. And it changed the momentum of that moment.
It did. It changed the whole game. It could change the whole series. We're tied at 2 going back to Phoenix. I mean, Booker was great. He was just, the way he was getting to his spot.
Yeah.
That one on the baseline. Connaughton actually defended him pretty tough a few times. That one in the lane late in the game. There was a bunch of pull-ups where his elevation was like they showed it going to break, ABC, just going to break. And you could just see how high. And Kobe, young Kobe, like they say, Kobe, kind of Kobe-esque. I mean, just the rise on the jump shot, the pure mechanics, the shoulders squared, the explosion. He was phenomenal. How they missed the foul call, that is... I hate to say it like this, but like if I'm Adam Silver, that could be worthy of you not working another second of the NBA Finals.
Because he should have fouled out.
It was such an egregious miss. If the Bucks lose this game... you're altering history for an easy call.
Yeah,
I'm not saying they had money on the game, but you can't miss that call.
No, I agree.
You cannot miss that call.
Yeah,
he tried to foul him.
He did. It looked
he actually tried to.
I'm telling you, it looked like I don't want a breakaway. An easy bucket. Let me wrap him up.
Yep.
It was textbook foul, and he didn't get one. And then he had another one a couple of possessions later.
Yep.
So DeAndre Ayton, maybe he got ball. Right? Maybe
doesn't matter. He got half the body.
I agreed.
But doesn't matter.
it depends on which one comes first.
No, it's a foul.
I mean?
It's a foul. Look at this.
He touches him. He grabs his back.
Grabs him, dude. It's a foul.
That is a foul.
It's a foul. Don't overthink it.
100 out of 100 times. But that would have been his 6th one, which would have got him out, taken him out of the game. But speaking of fouls, BT, to me, with 5:30 or so left in the third quarter, when he got his 4th foul, when Devin Booker got his 4th foul, and he's trying to convince Monty Williams to keep him in the game, and Monty's like, no, come on, kid, you're coming out. And it was the right, you have to do that, right?
It was the right call.
It's the right call by Monty to take him out of the game. But at that moment, that's when this game shifted to me, because all of a sudden, Devin Booker, who is just ridiculously hot. He's on fire all night, and you saw it even in that quarter. He made 7 of his 7 buckets. I mean, he had 18 points.
I thought he was going to bust the record that Giannis busted earlier.
That's right. He had 18 points in the third quarter.
He tied Kobe.
But when he got that 4th foul, all of a sudden, Chris Paul, who's having an off day, is forced to create. There were 3 straight possessions, BT, where Chris Paul was all ISO. There was no ball movement. He came down the court. I know it's in his mind. He's thinking, all right, Book is out. I gotta take over right now. I gotta do Chris Paul type things. And he kept missing, right? He kept getting deep into the clock. There was no passes. He was ISO basketball. And that's not how this team has won throughout the regular season. And it's not how this team has won in the postseason. And so I don't want to knock Chris Paul, because he's been absolutely fantastic in this postseason.
And has been great in the finals.
You're right. But that moment after Devin Booker got his 4th foul, and Chris Paul kind of had to put it on his shoulders, he failed in a lot of ways. And that's on top of 4 buckets, 5 turnovers, which created so many fast break opportunities. I think it was 15 zip fast break points. They had at least 9 more shots. Maybe it was more than that. 9 more shots than the Suns did, the Bucks did, because of the turnover situation. It was 17-5, right? You can't expect to win any game, much less a finals game, when you turn the ball over that much.
It's true. I mean, it's empty possessions that really, really hurt you. It's similar to baseball. You leave a man on third, less than 2 out, you don't get him in. Those little things, they're not little things. They seem fairly innocuous in the moment, because there's so much more game to play. Right. But those things add up. It's a very good point. And let's face it, Chris Paul now has 15 turnovers. 15 in the last 3 games. He's melting. He's not playing poorly. He's beginning to melt. And everybody, and I'm a Chris Paul fan. I'm a Chris Paul believer. But the one thing we've never seen from Chris Paul, because he's always had seasons either sabotaged due to injury, or he just got bumped early and didn't have long runs.
Yeah.
We've never seen Chris Paul play an entire season and an entire playoff run.
That's right.
And you know what? These legs are getting heavy, and as much as people want to bury, although he's gotten some praise the last couple of wins, as he should, Bud from the Bucks, the head coach, by deploying Drew Holiday on him 75, 80 feet.
That's right. Picked him up right on the inbound.
Picked him up. And listen, this is something else that seems very simple. No, it's not that he's going to necessarily pick Chris Paul's pocket, because what Chris Paul could, Magic Johnson used to do this. He could just take his back, and he can turn, he can wiggle, eventually get it over half court. What happens? 10, 9, 8,
Speed
7.
him up.
Exactly.
Yep.
You're melting time off the 24-second shot clock.
Yeah.
So that third subset off the play, whatever it is never going to get run. And if the first one's not there, now it's hot potato, now it's bad shot.
Yes, that's right.
And the Suns are in trouble now.
That's right.
The Suns are, I'm worried about my Suns here.
Because there's not, I mean, Devin Booker can also bring the ball up the court, but he hasn't. This is an adjustment Monty has to make. And the other thing, before we get to that, this Monty adjustment, you saw Chris Paul starting to get frustrated with this, because there were times where he sees Drew Holiday there to pick him up, and he's like, oh, what the hell? And he's like, he just throws it to Jay Crowder real quick. He throws it to Jay Crowder, Jay gives it right back.
Yep.
It's like a screen that he's setting.
Free himself up.
He's just, I mean, you could see the frustration.
Not used to it.
He's not
they
used
don't
to
do that in the NBA.
And by the way, he's never been in the NBA Finals. You said this, but I think it's deeper than that. He's never been in the NBA Finals. Mm-hmm. And at this point, when you let a team get back into the series, not that they did, but the Milwaukee Bucks took Game 3 because Giannis played so amazing. So the Bucks get back into the series. They start to feel like some hope and some belief. They're at home. They have their crowd there. I mean, Khris Middleton, who is Jekyll and Hyde, which we talked about in our Slack channel. He's Jekyll and Hyde. He's maddening and amazing at the same time, Khris Middleton. They start to believe in themselves, and championship teams can put the hammer down. Chris Paul doesn't know how to do that. right now. And when they needed him, they called on him, he made a lot of mistakes.
But neither does anybody on the Bucks.
I agree.
Wouldn't that offset Paul's inexperience?
Maybe, but
the Bucks look pretty poised. Middleton looked pretty poised. He's never won anything.
But I think Khris Middleton doesn't have – there's no expectation for him. You know what I mean? There's no if you lose this championship, your legacy is there's nothing for Khris Middleton. The only thing he can do is
not to that extent for sure.
Only thing he can do is rise.
Yeah,
and he's risen to the occasion multiple times in this postseason, not just in this finals, where he's had these massive games or massive quarters as we saw in the previous series. So Khris Middleton doesn't have the pressure. If he sucks, right? If he instead of going 15 for 33, if he went 5 for 33, we just say the same thing. Khris Middleton's unreliable. Here's what it is. He's a second round player, right? Who do we don't care about him, right? There's no pressure for him.
We focus on Giannis and Bud.
That's right. That's exactly
and probably
right.
throw a little shade at Holiday because he clanked a bunch. He did.
But,
I mean, the games that he has, we do that. If it wasn't
for his defensive stellar performance, he's been bad offensively.
He has had a lot of rough nights.